Okay. Hello everybody. Good to see everybody here in the chat. Um, can somebody just give me a confirmation? Say yes if you can hear me clearly, please. Just so that I know I'm not talking to myself in the camera. Um, but yeah, I see a lot of people in here today. That's very good. I'm very happy. So we have Ben in the house. We have Sayed, Naji. Gola said it's too late, so she has to go to sleep. So good night, Gola. We hope to see you next week, or we hope that you watch the episode later. Hidayah says, hello, I'm Hidayah from Morocco. Hidayah, very nice to see you in the lesson this week. Welcome. David, we have Joao again. Good to see you from last week, Joao. Nice to have you back. Naji, Jacqueline, Amit is also here. Doha is here. Hidayah, Amit, Paolo. Hello, Paolo. Very good to see you again. And Ben says yes, and Paolo says yes. Okay, so a lot of people are saying yes. So you guys can hear me. That's very good. All right, very nice. Lots of people today. Lucas, hey Lucas, very nice to see you here, man. Thank you for coming. Michael, I think that's Michael from the Czech Republic. Hello, Michael. Very good to have you in the class. Thank you for coming very much. Hi, Yusuf. Very good to see you. Celeste is also here. Clear and loud. You mean loud and clear. That's usually the expression that we say, loud and clear. Thanks. Nice to see you too. All right. Excellent. Great. So I can see we have a lot of people in the chat. And don't forget, we have the awesome Rosa, who is also helping us moderate in the chat today. So thank you very much for Rosa for being with us always. Kami is also here. Hello, Kami. Welcome to the class. Bilal is here. Great. Excellent. So I can see a lot of people. Ankon is here. Hello, Karim. It's good to see you. Rosa, very nice to see you too. Thank you for coming back this week. Samra says good. Let's start. All right, let's do that. All right, so welcome to the class. My name, if you don't know, or if this is your first time, my name is Karim. So I'm a teacher here at CCEL, and I've been teaching here for about 5 years. This is my third stream, I think. I've been using Smrt now for about 5 years, but this is only my third time streaming. I do also, if you're interested, I also have another YouTube channel on YouTube. It's called Food AF, and you can check out the links for that channel in the description below. All right, lots of more people coming in. Excellent. Welcome to the class. All right, so let's start. So this week we are actually going to be doing some grammar. So I've done vocabulary for the last 2 weeks, and I thought that I would change things a little bit, and we're going to be doing some grammar this week. So Adrian says hi. Hi, Adrian. Welcome to the class. But I would like some feedback from you guys. So can you please, after the class is over, not in the chat box, because everything in the chat after the stream, it goes away and I can't read it again. So in the comments down below, please tell me if you would like more of these kind of classes, right? So do you want me to mix things up with a little bit of grammar and some vocabulary, or do you want me to focus on vocabulary more? Or yeah, just give me your thoughts, right? So we know, or I know at least, what you guys like, and so I can plan ahead. Okay, so without any more delays, let us begin. So let me go down. So let's, I want to go smaller. So there we go. I'm a little bit smaller now. Hopefully you guys can see what's going on behind me there. Hi everyone. Hi Layla. Welcome to the class. Very nice to have you. All right, so grammar. We're going to be doing grammar from, again, remember we're doing English 120, which is about the intermediate level here in Canadian College, or in the Smrt curriculum. So it's about intermediate or lower intermediate. So I'm just going to start with English 120, and we are going to go to Unit 1. And today's grammar that we're doing is have and have got. So have and have got. Can you guys see the screen pretty well? Is that a good size for the screen? Sakat says yes, we can see clearly. Very nice. All right, excellent. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start. So we're going to be talking about have and have got, right? So this is something that some students get mixed up a bit. So hopefully today we're going to be looking at some things that will make it a little bit easier for you guys to understand and hopefully clear any confusion or questions that you guys might have. Patricia says, hello from France. It's midnight in France. That's very late, Patricia, but I appreciate very much you staying up to watch the class. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started. So have and have got. So have, as most of you know, is considered as an auxiliary verb. So another word for an auxiliary verb that we usually like to use to explain to students in English is we call it a helping verb. So a helping verb or an auxiliary verb. So have is one of the auxiliary verbs that we have in English, or a helping verb. And have can be a main verb, of course, and we will see this later on in the lesson today. But let's start with have as an auxiliary verb, or as a helping verb. So very simply, in the beginning it says, when have is an auxiliary verb, it is helping a full verb to make a present perfect sentence, right? One more time, when have is an auxiliary verb, remember, because have can also be a full verb in your sentence, but when we're using it as an auxiliary verb, it helps another main verb in the sentence to make a present perfect sentence. So let's take a look at some examples here. So let's scroll down a little bit and let's take a look at these pictures. Noura says, hi everybody. Hi Noura, very nice to have you back in the class. Thank you for coming. All right, so the first picture that we have. So we have these two people. They're standing somewhere in nature. Looks like they're a little bit high in the mountain and they're looking away, and it says, I have never been on top of a mountain. I have never been on top of a mountain. So notice that have in this sentence is an auxiliary verb helping the main verb been, right? Paulo says, Karim, could you please zoom in? Let me see if I can help you out. Is that better? I think that's as large as I can go, Paulo. Any more, and I'm not going to see the screen. Yeah, is this okay? Sweet says, hi. Hi, Sweet. Welcome to the class. So back to the example. So like I was saying, on the example here on our left, it says, I have never been on top of a mountain, right? So have is an auxiliary verb. Its function in this sentence, or what it's doing in the sentence, is it's helping the main verb being on top of a mountain. Let's look at another example. And if you notice, what are you talking about here? You're talking about an experience, right? So you're talking about something that experiences can be negative. That means you did not have the experience, right? Or it can be a positive experience. So I have never been on top of a mountain. We're talking about an experience that we've had here. Next sentence. So there's a girl sitting. It looks like a restaurant or a cafe or something. She's looking at the menu. And it says, has she tried the new menu? Has she tried the new menu? So same as the first sentence, has here is the auxiliary verb, and it's helping the main verb tried. So has she tried the new menu? And if you notice, you're also asking about an experience, right? Has she done this before? Is it something that she knows, right? Or is it something that she experienced before? Let's take a look at some other pictures, see what we have. All right, so we have these two people here. It looks like maybe a father and his son, or maybe an older brother and his younger brother. Rosa says that's better. Okay, good. I hope everybody can see clearer now the screen. So Hambly says, hi, I am from Algeria. Hello, Hambly. Welcome to the class. Thank you for coming. And it says, I have a big problem with vocabulary and speaking. I think I won't never speak English. Never say never, Hambly. English is just like anything else in the world, right? It's just practice and time. The more you do it, the better you are going to get at it. And that's a guarantee, right? So I promise you, all you need is just time and consistent practice. And the magic word is consistent, right? That means don't take breaks, right? You have to continuously be practicing. But thank you for coming to the class. Hi from Brazil. Hello, Raphael. Welcome to the class. All right, so let's look at these guys. So we have maybe a boy and his younger brother, or a father and his son. It says they have, or they've been playing soccer all day. They've been playing soccer all day. They have been playing soccer all day. Again, notice that have is an auxiliary verb, and it's helping the verb been. The last one, it says, why haven't you eaten breakfast yet? Why haven't you eaten breakfast yet? And all of them are the same thing. So if you notice, most of them are the same. The point of this was to show you that have as an auxiliary verb, right? When you use it that way, it's a helping verb because it helps the main verb for you to make a present perfect sentence. Victor, hello Victor, thank you for coming. Victor from Peru. Okay, now let's talk about have as a full verb, right? So it's not an auxiliary verb anymore. It's not a helping verb. It's not going to help any main verbs in the sentence. It is the main verb in the sentence. So let's take a look. It says we commonly use have as a full verb to describe possession. So possession, what is possession? Possession is when you show who is the owner of something, right? Or what does something belong to. So if I say, for example, this pen is my pen, right? So this is an example of possession. Possession means I'm the owner of this pen, right? So it belongs to me, it's mine. So, or obligation, and obligation is just a word that means something that you have to do. So let's say, for example, I went to the army today, and I have to shave my head, or I have to shave my hair, right? Because it's an obligation. It's not my choice, I have to do it. So an obligation is something that you must or you have to do. Relationships. So relationships means what is the connection between something and something else, right? When you're talking about a relationship, it means what is the connection? What's common between them? Or why are they related? And the last thing, or not the last thing, but we also use it for illnesses. And we also use it for a lot of other things, but these are the four most common ones, right? So one more time. Commonly, we use have as a full verb when we're talking about possession, or obligation, or relationships, or illnesses. Now, the important part that you should remember is we do not use continuous forms for these meanings. So that's the important point that you need to remember here so you don't get confused in the future. So when we're using has as a full verb, trying to express or talk about, talk about possession or obligation or relationships or illnesses, we do not use it in the continuous form, right? We don't use it in the continuous form. I speak English, but I am a freshie. I like that word. I am a freshie. But actually, Said, we don't say I'm a freshie. I think what you wanted to say is I am a rookie. I am a rookie, right? So rookie, R-O-O-K-I-E. I think that's a better word for the sentence that you're trying to say. But I like the way that you said it. It's much cooler. I'm a freshie. That sounds nice. Raphael says, I've never spoken in English with someone before. Perhaps I can do it someday. Well, Raphael, you are doing it right now. I just read a sentence that you wrote in English. So you're doing okay. Don't worry about it. All right, so let's see what we have. So remember, the important rule, we don't use have with possession, obligation, relationships, or illnesses in the continuous form. So let's take a look at some examples, hopefully to make things a little bit clearer. So let's see. So remember, this is have as a main verb. It's not an auxiliary verb. It's not a helping verb, so it's not helping any other verbs in the sentence. So let's see. It says, I have two brothers. I have two brothers. So if you notice, in this sentence, the way that we're using have, so remember the four things at the top here: possession, obligation, relationships, and illnesses. So in this sentence, for example, when you say I have two brothers, you're talking about a relationship that you have with your brothers, right? You're describing the relationship. Furqat says, hi Karim, I'm from Tajikistan. Very nice to have you, Furqat, in the class. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it a lot. Khilafawi, I think that's how I say your name. Khilafawi says, Hello from Algeria. Berke, hello from Turkey. Farouh, hi from the US. Lots of people joining in the class now. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. So let's continue. Now, if you notice, remember we said the important rule for you guys to remember is we do not use have as a main verb when we're talking about these four things in the continuous form. And that's why this sentence here is crossed out, right? So you can't say, I am having two brothers. It's a very unusual thing to say in this kind of sentence. So, I have two brothers, and you're talking about a relationship. Let's look at the next picture. So the next picture says, does she have a new car? Does she have a new car? Now, you're asking if she has a new car, right? So you're asking, does she own a car, right? Is there a car in this world that belongs to her, right? So you're asking about, in this case, possession. So this is what we mean by possession, right? Who is the owner of something? Or does somebody have something that belongs to them or to somebody else? And again, remember, you cannot use it in the continuous, and this is why this sentence is crossed out, because it's not correct. So, is she having a new car? Naji says, we do not use the continuous tense with have. Yes, right? So that's what we're trying to say, right? When we use have as a full verb in possession, obligation, relationship, or illnesses, we do not use the continuous form. Okay, next example. It says, they don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of money. So again, you're talking about possession, right? Do they own a lot of money or not? You cannot say, as usual, like we said, they aren't having a lot of money. So that's the wrong way to say that. So remember, I don't have a lot of money. Does she have a new car? I have two brothers. So we've been talking about possession and relationships. Now let's see the next one. Now, let's take a look at an example where we talk about illness. So if you have an illness, you can say, I have a headache. And if you guys remember from the vocabulary that we did in lesson 1, I think we were talking about things related to medicine and things like that. So headache, right? If you remember the word headache from then, do you have a headache? And I'm asking you about an illness. Same thing as before. You cannot use the continuous, so don't make the mistake of saying, are you having a headache, right? It's, do you have a headache? Patricia says, you speak very fast, but I understand. but I understand. Your pronunciation is very clear. Thank you, Patricia. I will try to slow down my speech for you guys. If anybody is having a problem, please just give me some feedback, right? Let me know how I'm doing, and I will try to accommodate you guys as much as I can. All right, so let's see what we have next. He has to go soon. He has to go soon. So this is an example of an obligation, right? So when you say, oh, it's late, I have to go now, or I have to go soon, right? So it's an obligation, and this is what we mean by obligation. Something that you must do, right? Something that you need to do. There's not a lot of choice because you have to do it. Again, no continuous form, so you cannot say he is having to go soon. Gerardo says, hello, I'm from California. Hi, Gerardo. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming to the class. Paulo says, no, stay fast. All right, let's see how it goes. Next sentence. It says, she doesn't have a stomach ache. And stomach ache is another word that we did from the vocabulary lesson in the first lesson that we did. So she doesn't have a stomach ache. Again, you're talking about an illness here, which is why we said it this way. So she does not, or she doesn't, have a stomach ache. And just like all of them, it doesn't matter if it's relationship, possession, or illness, or obligation. If you're using have as a main verb, you cannot use it in the continuous. So no ing, basically, right? When we say no continuous forms, that means you should not see ing anywhere. Okay, so far we've talked about have as an auxiliary verb. Remember, we use have as an auxiliary verb. It helps another main or full verb in the sentence, and we use it to make present perfect sentences. We also talked about have as a full verb, And we said that it's very common when we are using it to express or to talk about possession. Possession means who's the owner of something or what does something belong to. Obligation, that means when you have to do something, right? Because there's a rule or a law or somebody forcing you or something forcing you, right? Something that you have to do. Relationships, that means the connection between something and something else. And illnesses. And the important part here is you cannot use it in the continuous form, right? So no continuous form. Okay, now let's go to the next part of the lesson. So we talked about have. Let's talk about have got. Rosa says, yes, I agree that you speak very fast, but I understand you because your speech is clear. Well, I'm happy. It would have been very bad if I speak fast and it's not clear. That would have been very. Oh man. Says UL says, hi from Mexico. I have a doubt. What's the difference between I have to go and I have to leave? Nothing really. I have to go. I have to leave. It's basically the same thing. You're saying the same thing. There isn't really a difference, right? So, oh, I have to go. Oops, I have to leave. Same thing. All right, let's talk about have got now for a little bit. Now, it says at the very top here, so it says, for these meanings, we can also use have got instead of have. So, let's see what they're talking about. So, if you say, I have two brothers, so remember, like in the first, when we were talking about have as a full verb, we said, I have two brothers. Well, you can also say, I have got two brothers. And there is no difference in the meaning. So don't think that you are saying something different by doing that. It's a different way to say the same thing, right? So I have two brothers, I've got, or I have got two brothers. It's exactly the same thing. You're not changing the meaning of the sentence that you're saying. People will understand the same thing. And when we say for these meanings, what I mean is the same meanings that we were talking about above. So possession, obligation, relationships, and illnesses. So let's take a look how to change it to have got. Somebody is asking, how do we pronounce rehabilitate? So that's how you pronounce it, rehabilitate, rehabilitate. So the H is not very pronounced. You're not going to hear the H very much in this word. Rehabilitate, rehabilitate. Hussein Ataya says, I've got to go. Okay, I don't know if you're practicing a sentence or you're telling me that you have to go. But yeah, so as a sentence, that's correct. If you have to go, hope to see you soon, Hussein. Thank you for coming. All right, so let's continue. Remember, we said we can use have got for the same meanings that we just talked about for have. So let's see that. Does she have a new car? So remember, in the above example with have, we were talking about, this was the example to show possession, right? So does she have a new car? You can say, has she got a new car? Now, notice that when you start like I have two brothers, it becomes I have got. But when you start with does, so a question that starts with does, to change that, you have got to go to this way, right? So you're going to have to use have or has, depending on your sentence. And then has she got a new car? Has she got a new car? Same thing. It's the same question. There is no difference in meaning. You are asking the same thing. They don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of money. They have not got a lot of money. They have not got a lot of money. Rosa is asking, is it the same thing if I say I have a problem or I've got a problem? Yes, it's the same thing. You can say I have a problem or I've got a problem. Both of them are okay. And Hidayah says, yes, I think it's the same thing. Good job, Hidayah. Yes, you're right. It's the same thing. Okay, let's continue. So it says they don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of money. We're talking about possession again. Remember from the example when we were talking about have as a main verb. So it's everything is going to be the same sort of pattern, right? We're going to do the same step basically for all of the examples. So they don't have a lot of money is going to become they haven't or they have not got a lot of money. They haven't got a lot of money. Do you have a headache? Do you have a headache? Have you got a headache? And all of them are going to be the same. He has got to go soon. So this is the example that somebody wrote here. Can I say I have to go or I've got to go? So yeah, he has to go soon. He's got to go soon. So it's exactly the same thing. She doesn't have a stomach ache or she hasn't got a stomach ache. And that's pretty much it, really. So it's not too difficult, I hope. And just remember, you are saying the same thing. That there's no difference in the meaning of what you're saying. So I think so far, everything has been pretty simple, right? So we've talked about have as a full verb. We've talked about it as a helping verb. And we've seen how we change have to have got. Now, we are going to talk about some things that you have to remember so you don't make some common mistakes. Amit says there's a little difference, probably. No, not really. If you say I have to go and I've got to go, there's no difference in what you're saying at all. They're both exactly the same sentence. Okay. So now we're going to talk about some things that some people commonly do as mistakes. So let's take a look. It says, have got is only used to describe the present. And please focus that there is the word only, right? So that's it. There are no other options, right? So have got is only used to describe the present. You can't use it for anything else. It's only for the present. For the past, what do we use? We use had. There is no had got. You can't really say had got. That's not a word really. It's grammatically incorrect. So for the past, it becomes had. And if you want to talk about the future, then we use will have, as you can see here, or be going to have. So this is a very important rule, and it's one that you should remember so you avoid a very common mistake that a lot of people make. So one more time, have got is only used to describe the present. You can't use it in the past nor in the future. So in the past, the word is had, and the future, the word is will have or be going to have. So let's I have that pen. Sorry, Amit is saying I have that pen. I've got that pen. Same thing? Yes, it's the same thing, Amit. Joao is asking a question that I will not answer now because I think you're going to see it now when we're explaining the next part. Okay, let's. Wilson Ray says easy. Excellent. I like that word. I like it when things are easy for people. That means you're understanding well. Okay, so let's take a look. Have got, one more time, is only used to describe the present. No past, no future. In the past, it becomes had. In the future, it becomes will have or be going to have. So let's take a look at some examples. It says, I will have my wallet tomorrow, right? So tomorrow, we're talking about the future. You cannot really say have got. So like we said, you can use will have or be going to have. So I will have my wallet tomorrow. I am going to have my wallet tomorrow. Both of these are okay. I had to go home early yesterday. I had to go home early yesterday. So here we use had because it's in the past. She had long hair when she was a child. So when she was a child, obviously that's in the past. So she had long hair when she was a child. And notice that we're talking about possession, right? So possession in this one, I had to go home early yesterday. This was obligation. I will have my wallet tomorrow. I will have my wallet tomorrow. I would say that is possession also. All right, next example says, we didn't have color TV 60 years ago. We did not, or we didn't have color TV 60 years ago. Again, it's in the past, right? So it becomes we didn't have, right? When my throat itches, it usually means, if you guys remember from the vocabulary unit that we did, itch, right, is when you have this feeling that you want to go like that, right? You want to, this action is called itching, and an itch is also, it can be a noun. So when my throat itches, it usually means I am going to have a sore throat soon. I'm going to have a sore throat soon. So you're talking about the future, because when your throat itches, that means something is going to happen in the future, right? So I'm going to have a sore throat soon. Hidayah says, I will have to revise the lesson. Yes, please do, guys. That's why we make them this way. So after this stream, that's why we provide our lessons online, so you guys can watch them again and again and again. And if you want to write notes or check some things that, and you can just keep them with you forever. So I actually recommend that you, yes, please revise the lessons that you do to make sure that you understand what we talk about. Ankon says, I have to leave now. And I think he means it. It's not an example because there's a sad face. So sorry to see you go, Ankon, but thank you for coming, and just watch the lesson later whenever you have time. But thank you for being here. Okay, everybody. Yep, everybody's doing good, pretty good. All right, so that was the first important rule that we had to remember, right? Because that's a very common mistake. There is no past or future for have got, right? Have got is only used to describe the present. All right, carrying on. So we have a dynamic or action meanings of have. So dynamic is just another way of saying that there's an activity going on, right? It's something that's happening. There's action, which is why there's dynamic / action, right? So dynamic or action meanings of have. All right, let's see. So it says have or not have got, right? So have, not have got, can be used to describe actions with the following nouns. So this is just something that you have to get used to. Or if you are the kind of person that likes to memorize, you can do that. But I don't like memorizing very much, right? So I don't recommend memorizing. I like to get used to something, right? The more you use something, it doesn't become something that you memorize. It becomes natural, right? So the more you use something, the better it becomes. But this is a good guideline. So one more time. Have, not have got, right? So only have can be used to describe actions with the following nouns. A bath, when you're talking about a bath, I'm having a bath. A shower, same thing. When you go for a swim or when you have a massage. It's also used with breakfast, lunch, dinner. An apple, I'm having an apple, right? A snack, any kind of snack. A break, when you have some kind of break. Not break. You know what I mean, right? When you take a break, I'm having a break. That means you're enjoying some time off. You're relaxing. I'm having a break. A cigarette. It's also common with a party, a meeting, a wonderful time. Very common with dreams or a dream. A conversation, a fight, a baby, and surgery. So surgery is another word that we did in our first vocabulary lesson, so I hope you guys remember what it means. Patricia says, I take a shower. Is this possible? Yes, it is, right? So shower, a very common collocation. So collocations are words that we usually say together. Yes, it's very common to say I'm taking a shower or I want to take a shower. So yeah, you can. Has itch the same meaning of scratch? So Joao is asking this question, has itch the same meaning of scratch? That's a good question because not exactly. It's not actually the same thing. So a lot of people Some people use it that way, but if you want to be very technical or if you want to be very precise, it's not exactly the same meaning, right? So when you scratch something, what that means is usually you can damage it in some way, or you can take a very small layer off of it. And this is why those games where you have those games where you get a card, and you have to scratch something to see a number under it. So scratching usually means you're removing something, or you're taking something off with it. But you should know that a lot of people use it that way also. So a lot of people, you will hear some people say, I'm scratching my hand, right? Even though it's not exactly the same thing. But yes, a lot of people say scratch in the same way that they mean to itch. But that's the difference. Okay, next, what do we have? So, two important things we talked about so far. Remember, have got is only used to describe the present, right? For the past, we use had. For the future, we say will have or be going to have. For dynamic or action meanings of have, we use it very commonly, right? Have, not have got. We use it very commonly with a bath, a shower, and all these words that we talked about right now. Now, for these meanings, it is possible to use the continuous tense. UL says, I think some people say if it itches, scratch it. Well, yeah, that's what I said, right? So a lot of people say that. A lot of people say scratch as the same way that they use itch. But yeah. So for these meanings, it's possible to use the continuous tense. So we're going to be talking about the continuous tense now, and it's okay to use it that way. So I am having a great time. So remember, all these words, right? For these meanings, that's what we mean, these meanings up here, right? So a bath, a shower, a swim, all this stuff. You can use it in the continuous tense. So for example, it's okay to say, I am having a great time, right? So if you check up here, one of the nouns or one of the words that we had was a wonderful time. So that's why you can say, I'm having a great time. Remember, we also said party. So you can say, we were having a party when you called. We were having a party when you called. That means you were in the middle of the party, right? The party was happening, right? The party, remember, we said these are action or dynamic meanings. So when you say I'm having a party, that means there's a party going on right now, right? The party is happening. She is having a baby in June. She is having a baby in June. Now that's a very common thing to say for babies. So a lot of people would say, when a family, for example, they know that they're going to have a baby, they find out that they're going to have a baby. That's the most common way that people usually say that. They say, "We're having a baby. We're having a baby," right? And everybody gets excited. So we're having a baby. Rosa, yes, Rosa, scratch is the action. You can take it as that. Yes, scratch is the action you do when you feel an itch somewhere on your body. I'm having a surgery or I am having an operation is the same thing. Yes, it is the same thing, Patricia. Noura says, Noura has a very good sentence actually. It's pretty good. So Noura says, you can scratch a car, but you cannot itch it. And that is a very good example to show the difference between scratch and itch. So you can scratch a car. What does that mean? So you can have an accident and you can scratch some of the paint off the car. Or you know how you have some people that are very mean. They get a key and they scratch the car with their keys, right? Or you can scratch the car with something metal or hard. So scratching the car means you're going to damage it. It's not going to look nice after it because you will take some paint off. But you can't itch a car, or I guess you can, but you will look very weird. You'll be standing there, itching a car. Not a very good look, I would say. So yeah, that's an excellent example. Very good. I take a shower as well. I'm having an exam next week. Yeah, very good. All right, last example says, it sounds like someone is having a fight outside. It sounds like someone is having a fight outside. So remember some of the nouns that we talked about. So a fight. So these are of course, there's many more nouns than this, but these are very common ones, right? So we're including some very common ones. So a fight is fine. You can say it sounds like someone is having a fight outside. And that's pretty much it, really. So that's the end of the lesson today. So a few points. I'll very, very briefly go over them one more time. So like we said, have can be an auxiliary verb, which means it's a helping verb, and it can be a main verb. If have is an auxiliary verb, then usually we use it to help another main verb to make a present perfect sentence. And we looked at the examples together. If have is a full verb, then we commonly use it to describe things like possession, who's the owner of something, or what does something belong, who does something belong to. We also use it for obligation. That means things that you have to do. Relationships, the connection between something or things, and illnesses. We do not, and this is very important, we do not use the continuous form in this meaning. Have got, we can use have got instead of have if we are talking about the same meanings that we talked about, the possession, obligation, relationships, and illnesses. We can use have got instead of have, like the examples that we saw. And then the important points to remember: have got is only used to describe the present. For the past we use had, and for the future we use will have or be going to have. Dynamic and action meanings of have. So dynamic or action, that means there's some kind of activity in this verb, right? It's an active verb. So you take a bath, right? Because when you're taking a bath, you're doing something, right? When you're taking a shower, all of these verbs, if you notice, there's something happening in them. So have instead, not have got, can be used for these verbs, and it is possible to use the continuous. Now, let's get you guys to do some exercises and hopefully see if what I explained today made sense. All right, just give me a... Noura says, people who scratch a car with a key are the worst. The worst. The worst, Noura. Completely agree. The worst. Darsh al-Basha says, can we say she will have a baby in June? She will have a baby in June. I would say that's a common thing to hear. A lot of people would say something like, she's going to have a baby in June. I would say she's going to have a baby in June because it's a more fixed date, so you know exactly when it's going to happen. So it's a little bit related to when you're talking about planned things. So I would say it's more common to say she's going to have a baby in June. But yeah, or like she's having a baby in June, like we said. Okay, so let's get to the exercises and get you guys to start doing some things here. So let's take a look. So exercise number 1 is pretty straightforward. It's very simple. It says change the sentences and use have got. So just like the first example, it says, just let me make it full screen. So it says he has a cold. All you have to do is just change it to a have got sentence. So he's or he has got a cold. So he's got a cold or he has got a cold. And that's it. So let's do the same for the others. Can you guys see? Is it clear for you, the questions, or do you want me to make it a little bit bigger? Any feedback? No, I'm going to make it bigger anyway. Let's see what you guys say. Okay, I think you can see it better now. All right, so let's do B, C, D, and E. I am going to pop out of the picture for a minute. I think a minute should be okay, minute and a half, and I will be back very soon. Okay, let's see. I was watching the chat text, and I think all of you guys are doing an excellent job. I am very impressed. All right, so let's see what you guys did. I can't type here. Let me make a copy. Yes. Edward is asking, can you put the link for the class and the exercises? I'm not sure if I can, Edward. I don't know if this is part of the Smrt that I'm allowed to put out there on the internet or not. But I'll check if I can. I definitely will. But so let's see. Can I type in here now? Yes, I can. Okay. So, do you have any brothers or sisters? Do you have any brothers or sisters? I see a lot of people answered this one correctly. So, yeah, almost everybody got this right. So, Fruh says, have you got any brothers or sisters? Hidayah, have you got any brothers or sisters? Joao got it right. Patricia got it right. Have you got any brothers? UL got it right, but you missed the "and sisters" part. You only talked about the brothers, but your sentence structure is correct. Very good. Um, have you got any brothers or sisters? Osman says, yes, that is correct. Have you got any brothers or sisters? Rosa, Joa, yes, almost everybody got that right. So good job. So have you got any brothers or sisters? So that's the answer for that. Next one, she doesn't have much money. She does not, or she doesn't have much money. So let's see what you guys said. So where is C? Where is it? I can't see the letter C. There it is. All right. So Joao says she doesn't have got much money. She doesn't have got much money. That is not exactly correct, but let's just read a few more and we'll see. CUL says she hasn't got much money. She hasn't got much money. Yes, that's correct. Furuh says she hasn't got much money. Very good. Hidayah says she hasn't got much money. Also very good. She hasn't got much money. A lot of people are saying she hasn't got much money, and that is correct. So, yeah. So Rosa, Joao, UL, Furuh. Lots of people got this one too. Very good. Good job. Next is we have to get in shape for the race. We have to get in shape for the race. So a lot of people also, I think, got this one right. And this is D. This is D. So let's check. So Joao says we have got to get in shape for the race. We have got to get in shape for the race. Very good, Joao. UL, we've got to get in shape in the race. Very nice. Furuh, we have got to get in shape for the race. Very nice, Furuh. Hidayah, same thing. Noura, same thing. Rosa also got it. Yeah, everybody's getting it right. You guys are doing very good. And I think we had E also, right? Yeah, we had E. So E says, does your classroom have any windows? Does your classroom have any windows? This is, oh, sorry, it's E. I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, so E, it says, have your classroom any windows? Patricia says, have your classroom any windows? You are almost completely correct, but not exactly. And I think you know why, or you will know why if I say something. Furuh says, has your classroom got any windows? Very good. Noura got it right. Paulo got it right. Patricia says, oops. Yes, Patricia, she fixed her mistake. Very well done. Yeah, that's it. So everybody, again, very well done. Has your classroom got any windows? All right, let's do one more set, and I'll get you guys to do this. Which one was bigger? This one. All right, so let's do this set. So I'm going to pop out again. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Okay, and we are back. um, you guys are doing a pretty good job, by the way. I'm very proud. Feel yeah, very happy. Everybody is getting correct answers. So yeah, thank you for that. Excellent. Virtual high five. Phew. Okay, let's see what we have. So let me just go back here and this is the one that I can type in. Yes. Okay, so the first one says I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. He doesn't look like he's too unhappy. But let's see what you guys did. So this was G. Where is everybody? I haven't got a girlfriend. Yes, so UL has got this right. Adam got it right. Hussein got it right. Furuh also. Patricia. And Ben got it. Hidayah got it. Raphael, very good job, guys. Yep, everybody got this one almost, I think. So yeah, I haven't got a girlfriend. Next, does Australia have much snow? Does Australia have much snow? So this is H. Let's see what you guys did. So most of you, I think, also same thing. All of you guys are getting this right today. I think the class is not hard enough for you guys. This would make Sean very unhappy. Sean likes to. I know, I've been there. But where are we right now? So H. Has Australia got much snow? I can't find H for some reason. Where? I can't. Okay, there it is. Has Australia got much snow? So, yes, Hidayah has this right. Raphael has it right. JB is also good. Furuh got it. Joao got it. Patricia has Australia. Got. Remember, Patricia, we want to use have got, right? So you missed the got. Be careful with that. But yeah, everybody's doing a great job with this. So has Australia got much snow? No, they don't. They don't have much snow in Australia. They have the complete opposite of that, I would say. So next is I, and it says he has a really bad cough. He has a really, excuse me, sorry. He has a really bad cough. And again, I think everybody almost got all of these right. So he has got a bad cough. Ben, good job. I'm trying to find it. You can make my life much easier, guys, if you type the letter of the question before the answer. Much easier for me. But yeah, I think the ones that I can see so far, most of them, you guys got it again. So he's got, right? He's got, or he has got a really bad cough. By the way, this is just like a tip for you guys. Usually when we're using have got, it is more common to use the contracted form. So most people would say he's got, right? It's very rare really to see somebody say he has got, right? It's much more common to use the contracted form. So he's got a really bad cough. Okay, and Jay, I think Jay is the last one. So Jay is I have a pretty sore back. And I think we talked about the word sore, right? We talked about, remember, we have a sore throat, so you should know this word from the last time we did the vocabulary. So I have a pretty sore back, and this is J. What do we have? Where is J? I've got a pretty sore back, so Paulo, pretty good job. Paulo, Nura, good job. Victor, very well done. UL, also very well done. JB says that's also correct. JB says you've still got an accent, Karim, but I understand you perfectly. Okay, thank you. As long as you understand things perfectly, that's all I can ask for. Rosa says, I'd like to know that too, Noura. I don't know what you're talking about. Noura must have said something somewhere. But yeah, everybody got this one, again, pretty well. So very good job. I've got a pretty sore back. I have got, or I've got a pretty sore back. Okay, so I think we are almost running out of time here. So let's just do one last thing that should be pretty easy. So let's get you guys. All right, so very easy, very straightforward. I want you to look at the answers that you just did now and tell me what kind of, what are they describing? So tell me, for example, this sentence talks about an illness or a possession or a relationship or an obligation, right? So the 4 types of things that we talked about. So let's take a look. The sentences that we did together were, what do we have? We did, do you have any brothers or sisters? Right? We talked about, do you have any brothers or sisters? I think that was B. So what would you say that is? Any brothers? Do you have any brothers or sisters? Remember that? So which one would you say this one? Is it a relationship? Or is it an illness? Is it a possession? Or is it an obligation? Rosa says possession. Joao says possession. Possession. A lot of people are saying possession. No, I wouldn't say possession actually, because think about it. What are you saying? You don't possess, right? Or you don't own your brothers and sisters, right? I hope not. I hope that you don't own your your brothers and sisters. So it's not possession. No, when you ask somebody about a family member, like do you have a brother, do you have a sister, do you have whatever, most of us would consider that to be a relationship, right? So most of us would consider it to be a relationship. Yeah. Because yeah, it's very strange, right? You wouldn't own your brother or your sister. So I wouldn't say that. What about the second sentence? She doesn't have much money. She doesn't have much money. So for, I think that was C. She doesn't have much money. I think you guys are going to get this one. Should be pretty easy. She doesn't have much money. So I would say that that is, so Adam says possession. Paulo said relationship for B, so yeah, very good, Paulo. B is a relationship. Adam says possession for D. Hussein goes possession. Rosa says it's a relationship, yes. So yeah, so for C, possession, Joao, oh, everybody's saying possession now. Yes, very good. I would say that that is a possession type of relationship or possession expression in the sentence. Okay, D, let's do 2 more and I'll let you guys go. So D was where did it go? Okay, we've got to get in shape for the race, or we have to get in shape for the race. We have to get in shape for the race. We have got to get in shape for the race. So what kind of sentence would you say that is? Is that possession, or is that an obligation, or is that an illness, or is it a relationship? And this is D. So one more time, we've got to get in shape for the race. So okay, here we go. So Hidayah is saying obligation, Joao, obligation, Rosa says obligation, JB, Adam, everybody is saying obligation. And I would say that you guys are absolutely correct. So it's an obligation, right? Because you have to get in shape for the race. All right, last one. Does your classroom have any windows? Does your classroom have any windows? And this was E, I think. Does your classroom have any windows? Has your classroom got any windows? So what do you think? What do you think that is? Is that obligation, or is it possession, or is it a relationship, or is it an illness? Does your classroom have any windows? And that's the last one. So, okay, the answers are coming in. Ben says possession. JB says possession. Farouh says possession. Adam, Patricia, Edward, Rosa, everybody's saying possession, and you guys are right again. So, yeah, that's it. So that's it. That's the lesson really for today. I want to thank you guys. Really, I really appreciate it when you give me your time and you actually come and spend this hour, or the last two classes have been a little bit longer, with me. It's yeah, I'm very thankful for that. So thank you very much for that. So I'll see you guys next week. Remember, please, not in the chat box, because I cannot read the chat box after I stop this stream. So if you want to type things that you want us to see, make sure that you put it down in the comment section below the video on YouTube. So yeah, so please tell us what you guys think. Support this channel. If you like what we like, don't forget to like the button, right? So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Please come and join my tribe, and share our videos, and I'll be here again next Wednesday. And remember, if you are hungry after this lesson, you can always go and check out my other YouTube channel on YouTube. It's called Food AF, and it's about cooking, right? So if you like food and you like to watch cooking videos and things like that, you can go and check me out over there. It's Food AF, and that's it. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for coming to the class, and have a great week. And I think I have to press this button now. All right, I'll see you guys.